Good morning and happy Summerween. How are you doing today? We have a brand new fragrance for Halloween this year at Bath & Body Works, or as I should call it, Summerween, since it is still very early in the season for some spooky vibes. First of all, we have some returning favorites in body care. We've got Vampire Blood is back, Ghoul Friend, and then Wicked Vanilla Woods is back this year in body care as well. We have not necessarily in body care, but some home fragrance and hand soap forms, Pumpkin Carving, as well as the Candy Apple Cauldron, which debuted last year, 2024. But for Summerween 2025, we've got a brand new body care fragrance. This also comes in home fragrance and hand soap as well. This is called Ice Cream Float. As you can tell, I dressed for the occasion. I thought that this sweater matched the packaging perfectly. It comes in this fun pastel purple packaging, and I think an ice cream float is a perfect idea to blend summer fragrance into a fall context. So here's a closer look at that packaging. We've got a spooky eyeball on top of our ice cream there, and of course a play on words, I scream, but ice cream float, you know, you kind of get it. So I'm gonna review this fragrance for you. I've got it in the fine fragrance mist. I also have it in the body cream as well as the body wash. This is what that looks like, and it's nice that I've got a few forms because sometimes you notice different notes pop out in different forms. So we're gonna kind of play with those body care items and see what we smell from this scent. The fragrance notes on Ice Cream Float are fizzing cola, frightful vanilla float, and spooky sugars. I really love soda scents from Bath & Body Works whenever they have a soda scent, which isn't very often. I feel like they are really good at capturing that kind of fizzy feeling. Something like in Strawberry Soda as well as the Cherry Limeade from past summers. I feel like these two fragrances really have that fizzy quality to it. So I'm really hoping that the fizzing cola note kind of gives it that quality as well. Let's first spray it on a tester card. By the way, I've noticed in the comment section I've gotten lots of commentary on these tester cards. I really like these ones because they have a thin side and a wide side. So I typically, for my videos, spray the skinny side on purpose because when I spray it for a review, I'm going to be smelling it pretty much instantly after spraying it. So this actually makes it so the fragrance dries down a little faster, and it just helps it develop quicker than if I were to spray it across a wider surface. Now, the wider surface is really good for if you are spraying maybe in a store and you want to take it home and you kind of want to let it have a chance to fully develop. It allows for the scent molecules to kind of spread across more evenly on a wide piece. So wide side, good for if you're gonna take it home or you wanna have it develop for a longer time and then kind of compare what you're smelling. But for today and for most of my videos, I usually use the thin side just because it's a quicker dry down experience. So I can more accurately tell you in a speedy fashion what I'm smelling and what it smells like once it's developed. So I hope that makes sense as to why I'm using the skinny side of my tester strip. I actually had to look it up because when I first purchased these, I wasn't quite sure which side to use myself. But for instant smelling, skinny side is best. With that being said, let's spray. Fun. It almost has a little bit of a root beer as opposed to a cola kind of scent. Maybe not. Maybe it's a little bit more cola-ish. So on top notes, I do get a very sweet, syrupy soda kind of scent. But to me, it's not actually as fizzy as something like the Strawberry Soda where I feel like it has kind of a zing to your nose. I didn't really get that zing in there. And it could be because there is kind of a vanilla ice cream thing going on that might help tone it down with the fizz. But top notes, it kind of has a little bit of a cherry or almost a grape quality to it. Already, as it's calming down from its initial spritz, from those top notes being the most prominent thing, I'm getting a creamy vanilla base, which is really fun, but it's really grounding and toning this fragrance out. I find that it's actually not too intense or overpowerful. Before I try a little of the cream and spray on my skin, I'm gonna smell this shower gel. I find that Bath & Body Works shower gels tend to play upon more of those fruity notes, or there's just something about the form of the body washes that I notice they're always just a little bit more top note heavy and fruitier. Yes, and I am definitely noticing that is the case with this shower gel too, so I'm smelling more of that fizzing cola scent. We've got Daisy. Yes, so I'm definitely getting more of those top juicier notes in the shower gel, just as predicted. So it's more Coca-Cola-ish in the body wash. And I almost get none of the ice cream vanilla scent from the shower gel, just smelling it straight on. So that's kind of interesting to note. The spray dried down very quickly to a vanilla ice cream scent, but it's kind of like a little bit of a spooky vanilla, if that makes sense. Something kind of like the Wicked Vanilla Woods, as opposed to being a super edible vanilla. vanilla. I'm kind of getting like almost a peppery kind of vanilla, which I don't know if that makes sense. It's like a little bit smoky, a little bit peppery. Something more so than when you say ice cream, I kind of think a little bit more sweet and edible. But it's surprisingly not as edible of a scent as I thought it was going to be, at least when I sprayed it on the card. Let's try some of the body cream on my skin. All right, I'm just trying on a generous patch on my arm right here. I accidentally got maybe a little too much, so I kind of have to rub that in. Ooh, that's nice. Okay, I'm getting a little bit more of a root beer float kind of vibe from the body cream. This is more ice creamish than the spray in the cream. So this is really, to me, one of those scents that varies form by form. They all smell the same, of course, in terms of, yes, this is the same fragrance, but I'm just noticing those different notes popping out. So shower gel, I was getting predominantly Coca-Cola. Cream, I'm predominantly getting an ice cream float. It really does smell like when the ice cream melts into the soda. It's like the perfect blend of the ice cream versus the cola scent. Unlike in the spray, I was noticing it being a little bit more of a heavier, smokier vanilla kind of scent, at least on the card. As I smell the cream, the Coca-Cola is a little bit more accurate. I was kind of like debating whether I was smelling more of a root beer kind of soda or if it was a cola kind of soda. More cola on the cream to me. It does remind me a little bit of those Coca-Cola gummy candies, although it's not as sweet and candy-like as I thought it was gonna be. Doing a little spray on top of that cream, see what it does. It does smell really good. I actually do like this scent. It was one of those ones that I had kind of an idea in my mind of what it was going to smell like, and when I smelled it, I was taken off guard a little bit. I was like, oh, that's not what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a little bit more pure of a soda, but of course I was kind of forgetting about the fact that this was an ice cream float, so there's going to be ice cream notes, there's going to be some different things going on other than just straight soda. So once I kind of get over that first impression kind of being a disconnect, I kind of blank my mind and go in and smell it again, and I'm like, okay, I like it better now that I'm being a little more open-minded instead of going in with my own template of what I thought it should smell like. I would say that layering with this fragrance is really important. If you match your shower gel, your cream, and your spray, I feel like that's when you get the full experience. All Bath & Body Works scents are this way. They tend to perform best when you layer them with their matching shower gel, moisturizer, and the spray. But this fragrance especially I find is important to do that with because all of these forms do vary so much in which notes pop out. Now that I have both moisturizer and spray on my skin, I am enjoying this much more than just spraying it initially on the card. So that's something interesting about this fragrance that isn't always the case with all scents. There are some scents I smell on a card and I'm like, oh, this is great. And then I get it on my skin and I'm like, not really what I thought. One final note about this fragrance too is that when I smelled it actually on my mom, I found that it was a little bit more true to a Coca-Cola scent using the spray on her skin. It almost had a cherry Coke scent on her skin, more so than mine. Mine is pulling a lot of those more warm, deeper vanilla notes, which is kind of not what I expected. So it's definitely a fun one to try on your skin and see which notes you pull. You'll have to try it in the store and let me know what you think. I do also know that fragrances tend to be better when you smell them at home than when you're in the store. Sometimes in the store, there's a lot of scents going on and they kind of compete with each other. Getting yourself in a neutralized space where there's not a lot of fragrance going on and just starting with a blank canvas can really help you smell what's going on better. And this is definitely the case for the ice cream float. I feel like it's much easier to tell what's going on with the blank slate. When I smelled it in the store, I just didn't know what to think. But either way, I am glad that I got a set. I probably will get a backup set because this is such a fun novelty fragrance. And what a smart choice to have one of those Shimmer Fizz lotions. Do you remember these? They do them for Halloween and Christmas collections often. Kids love them, but you know what? Adults love them too. They make for such a fun gift, but they also really can elevate your body care experience. Some of those beverage or soda-like fragrances, like the strawberry soda, like Firecracker Pop, they really do need a fizzing quality to them. So I highly recommend trying this in the Shimmer Fizz lotion if your store has them in stock. You'll have to let me know down in the comments below. Did you try this new ice cream float and what did you think of it? Were you able to pull more of a Coca-Cola scent or did you get a lot of the more vanilla notes like it did on my skin? Thanks for watching. I hope this review helped and I will see you in my next video. Bye.